laughter and your ability to smile is so, so, so important. Your smile conveys so much. It says that, hey, listen, that person says that you're safe, says that you are content, says that you're not bothered, says that you're not a threat, says that it says so much. I mean, it gets you in and out of so much. And I mean, I think so many people are taking life personally or are grumbling through the world and stuff like that. Why the fuck shit ain't happening to me? And it's that and other. It's like, look, calm the fuck down. In the history of mankind, no one has ever gotten rid of the happy motherfucker, right? No one ever said, man, I am so sick of the happy motherfucker. I got to get rid of them. The grumbly people, yeah, you'll get rid of them in a second because
who wants to be around it?
Who the fuck wants that energy?
Yeah.
Who the fuck wants that energy? And now we have caller ID. Whenever the phone rings, everybody does the same thing, looks at it and just for a nanosecond, just evaluates, do I want to talk to this motherfucker?
Welcome to Harmonic Alignment, a podcast that explores the new frontier of energy medicine, bridging the gap between Western medicine and quantum physics, giving you easy and practical solutions. Guided by me, Dr. Larissa Sharipova,
and me, Priscilla Koblentz.
Join us on a journey discovering your harmonic alignment.
On today's episode of Harmonic Alignment, the human high five, the man who has hugged 1 million people in this world, David Hale Sylvester. If you're having a bad day, this podcast is going to rock your world and make you smile. Dave is so full of life and energy, a man who's truly lived a life worth living. He is an award-winning author and documentarian, a life coach, and he's an optimistic expert. This is such a fun conversation. He's got some incredible projects coming up. You're going to love every second of this episode. Enjoy, and be sure to follow Dave at The Human High Five on Instagram and his website, David Hale Sylvester.
Let's go back in time. I think
let's go back.
Yeah, let's go back how we met, 2008, and you were starting to write your first book.
I was starting to write my first book, and I tell you what, let's go back even further. I'll go back even before I met you.
Okay, perfect.
My story is that since 2001, I have been traveling around the world hugging people as a way to make the world a better place since my friend was killed on September 11th. And I have been to 50 states, all 50, and 42 countries, and I've hugged 1 million people and written a couple books about it. And here I am. So I met you after I finished bicycling Asia and I think North America again. I had started to write my first book, Traveling at the Speed of Life.
Anyone who's ever met Dave Sylvester, you will remember that meeting, just so you know. He's a larger than life character. If you're only listening, you should go check it out on YouTube.
Just a regular guy, man. That's it, man.
I love it. Oh my gosh, my friend, you have led quite a life. You have met so many incredible souls. You have been on this incredible journey of transformation, of trying to heal yourself and the world around you. There's a timeline here, my friend.
There is a timeline.
I was just opening up here, and it starts, and it's, when you bicycle to Africa, and then you had a documentary.
Yeah. No, I've had a documentary, a couple books. Children's book. I got a bunch of shit.
You just don't sit still.
Right. And there's more in store. I'm working on other things. I guess this is where I should plug my own stuff, right?
Well, yeah. Right here on the podcast, we have one.
So that's my second book. That's my secking book, One Hug, the award-winning One Hug at a Time.
One Hug at a Time.
2 book awards. So I'm an award-winning author. I'm an author of note. And I'm working on a 3rd book right now, a hug book for men that will hopefully encourage men to not tamp shit down, to express themselves, to just connect. I just sent the draft of it off to my editing team, and the title is called Brothers in Arms. And it is 12 short chapters of me hugging veterans, of me dealing with a lot of stuff myself. So a friend of mine committed suicide and me dealing with that. I know somebody that was domestically abused, dealing with that, and just dealing with a lot of things. I've been fortunate to have met a lot of people, but when you let people into your life, you let them into your life, and that's good and bad. And then you have to deal with that. I think too many guys just keep it in, keep it in, keep the trauma in. I've met one guy recently who opened up to me. He said that pain doesn't go away.
Yeah. And men don't have the tools, they don't have the outlets. You're talking about right now one of my favorite topics, and that is how do we support men on their growth of getting through trauma, physical, emotional, spiritual
Right.
growth. I heard on average, the average man of a certain age gets less than one hug a year.
That's probably correct. I mean, and
That's heartbreaking.
I've had men that have collapsed pretty much in my arms. I mean, one guy, he just started hugging me. And normally when I hug people, I let go and they let go. And this guy, right when I thought he was about to let go, he sort of clutched me even tighter. And I didn't know what was happening. And then I could feel his face shaking. And I was like, oh, this man is crying. And he literally cried in my arms. And after a while, he looked down like almost in shame. And I said, do you want to talk? And he was like, no, but I just really needed that. And thank you. And I've had that happen many a time. A guy said he wanted a hug, but he didn't feel like he was deserving. And I think that a lot of times guys get caught up in a lot of bullshit, right? What is it to be a man? Masculinity, this, that. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot to navigate. I think there's so many rules, so-called rules for being a dude. And it's just sort of just breaking through that. It's just tough to negotiate. And because I am the way I am, because I am big, because I joke a lot, because I curse a lot, because I just, if somebody's telling a story, I'll cut them off. Like, come on, man, come on with this bitch shit. I'll say shit like that just automatically shakes guys to be like, all right, I can talk with this guy. I can open up with this dude. I think a lot of times women, you all just communicate differently.
Hold on. We women will have a conversation about our feelings and our emotions on at least a weekly basis with a girlfriend. Guys do not have guy friends where they talk about their feelings and their emotions.
No, you talk about the same shit. Sports, titties, and that's it. And you can have a whole road trip of sports, titties, and music and college football memories or some shit like that. And it's a great conversation. Man,
but never talk about what's going on inside of you.
No,
and where
you'll never talk about where the bad man touched you or anything like that or whatever. And that shit happens. I mean, I just had a motherfucker just open up about that shit,
But there's not a safe space for men to be vulnerable. And the thing is, I think the ultimate masculinity, the ultimate man is a man who is strong enough to be vulnerable.
And a lot of guys don't see it that way. And I get it. I see both sides of it. I mean, as a dude, I get it. I get where they're coming from. You don't want to seem weak. You don't want to seem needy. You don't want to seem, like you don't have your shit together. But it's like, look, we all need help. We all need help. The strongest motherfucker in the world needed to be told. Oh, I curse a lot, audience. I should warn you. The strongest motherfucker in the world needed to be told at the very least where the gym was and how to lift. It's just at the very least, do those push-ups, so we all need to be told something. And I think that the whole phrase, I'm a self-made man, has been overused and overblown and overhyped. And it's like, look, man,
we're all just walking each other home. That's the problem.
Right.
Nobody can go it alone. We're never going to be happy, healthy, and whole if we're going it alone.
I'm the motherfucker that wrote this book. You know what I'm saying? I'm the motherfucker that lived the story, that hugged all these people, that wrote the shit. But let me tell you something. If it wasn't for my editing team, if it wasn't for my friend Joe designing the cover, if it wasn't for so many friends getting me through, I wouldn't be able to do this shit. I'm not a self-made man. I'm just a motherfucker just stupid enough to go out and hug the world. I mean, in this book, I think 5 pages of thank yous, 5 pages of just people's names that have just helped me be better. Mm-hmm. And I mean, dating back to, here's a guy from high school, Dave Sims, who he and I were together. I've known him since I was 14, and I watched him as an artist, just blossom. And Dave was like one of the most talented guys that I knew. And as I grew and matured and started writing and becoming an artist on my own accord, he inspired me. I mean, I thought about him, about when he was in high school, about how he's still drawing, about how he has just blossomed. And I needed that. I needed that inspiration. And I thanked him in that. So, I mean, guys, there is no self-made man. We all need somebody to get through this muck and mire called life.
Right. Dave, you've talked to me about the lack of male role models in your community and growing up. Can you share who your role models were?
Oh, my dad. I love my dad. I mean, my dad was as big as my personality is. I mean, his was bigger in so many ways. And he was a cool dude. It's funny. I saw a picture of myself, and my father smoked all the time. And I just happened to be holding my hands like this, as if I had a cigarette. And I loved that picture, and it made me smile, and it also made me cry because of how much, I was like, wow, I look like my dad in that, and I miss him. And, my dad was probably my biggest influence. And then my friends, Kevin and Kelvin, who were neighbors and lived right down the street. And Kevin was my friend that died on September 11th. I mean, I was very, very fortunate, knock on wood, that I met so many guys that were willing to deal with me. I was a lot to deal with. I'm a lot to deal with.
They kind of took you under their wing.
Oh yeah, and they just told me, man,
stop being a dumbass.
Shut the fuck up, right? Man, shut the fuck up. And that was their thing. It was just like, hey, you can hang with us, like you said, as long as you're not a dumbass. As soon as you're a dumbass, then we gotta cut you loose, for the day. For the day. And then I would have to come back, and, Kevin and Kelvin were 10 years older than me. And 10 years is a big gap when you're a kid. Because I was a kid, if I said something funny on Saturday, I was repeating the same joke on Sunday ad nauseum and stuff like that. And, after about the third time, they were like, come on, motherfucker, you got to come with new material. Just shut the fuck up. Or just, calm down. Like, calm the fuck down. One of Kevin's things was always, don't take life personally. Don't take life personally.
Wow, that's a lot of wisdom.
I remember I was upset one time because they took off one of my favorite cartoons, and I was like, But, they're 10 years older than me. So my 8-year-old problems are nothing for an 18-year-old man to deal with. And, and Kevin was like, don't take life personally. It ain't about you. And so my whole life I've been hearing, don't take shit personally. Don't take shit personally. Don't take shit personally. And it sort of just got ingrained into me. It helped with my ability to process things quickly,
So if people came at you, you never took it as your problem or your fault. Like, you were able to separate someone coming at you and be like, oh, I hope they're okay.
I mean, I guess I always had a big ego. So I was always like, that shit ain't my problem.
Must be someone else's.
Surely they're not talking about me. Surely I'm not the problem. So between that of not taking shit personally and my ego, I walked around, as they would say, oblivious to the world. So it helped with a lot of things. I'm very fortunate that I have a good sense of humor, and I can laugh at pretty much anything. Laughter and your ability to smile is so, so, so important. Your smile conveys so much. It says that, hey, listen, that person says that you're safe, says that you are content, says that, you're not bothered, says that you're not a threat, says that it says so much. I mean, it gets you in and out of so much. And I mean, I think so many people are taking life personally or are grumbling through the world and stuff like that. Why the fuck shit ain't happening to me? And it's that and other. It's like, look, calm the fuck down. In the history of mankind, no one has ever gotten rid of the happy motherfucker. Right? No one ever said, man, I'm so sick of that happy motherfucker, I got to get rid of them. The grumbly people, yeah, you'll get rid of them in a second. Because who
wants to be around it?
Who the fuck wants that energy?
Yeah.
Who the fuck wants that energy? And now we have caller ID. Whenever the phone rings, everybody does the same thing, looks at it, and just for a nanosecond, just evaluates, do I want to talk to this motherfucker?
Well, right. Well, and what is that going to help?
If you don't bring good energy, people are like, yeah, I'm not taking that fucking call. Or turn it over so they don't have to look at your fucking face. And I mean, that's where we are.
So if you don't pick up the phone when someone calls.
That's it. Your shit went to the voicemail last time.
Like, I can't deal with that crazy
Fuck
bitch.
that shit. Redheads. I mean, what?
Dave. Now I'm cussing. I love it. Your energy precedes you, right?
Energy. And that's what this is about. That's what maturing is about. It's respecting your energy, nurturing the good energy, saying no to the bad, just letting good energy in your life so that you can flourish. I mean, we're only here for a short amount of time, just a short amount of time. So why let bad energy in? Why create bad energy? If people, got attitude problems, great. You keep that over there.
Yeah.
Keep that over there. I don't need that shit.
Protect your energy. Have the wisdom or the discernment to like know what you're willing to let into your life.
Oh,
Like,
it's your energy is so precious. It's
well, your
so
energy
precious.
affects everything. Your mental, your emotional, your physical.
Yeah.
Like people get sick because they have toxic friends in their life.
Yo, God, yeah. And it's just, and why does this keep happening to me? Well, look at your friends.
Yeah.
Look at your friends. Look at what is the energy that they're engendering. If you go into a situation and like, oh, it's going to be some drama, it's going to be some drama. But if you go into some energy like, hey, look, man, I'm just going to get through. I'm going to do what I have to do and then get out and extract what I can to help me live a better day, a brighter tomorrow. That's what you'll do.
I was looking through this incredible timeline and I saw that you hugged Santa Claus.
So
what happened there? How did that happen?
So there is a town in Alaska right outside of Fairbanks called the North Pole. And I guess around 1947, these people up in Fairbanks decided, hey, listen, kids write Santa Claus all the time. And where's that mail go? What if we called ourselves the North Pole? And we get all that mail and turn this little town outside of Fairbanks, Alaska into a tourist attraction. So now 20 miles outside of Fairbanks is a town called the North Pole, which is crazy. And all of the parking meters and all of the street lights look like candy canes. And there's a house where Santa lives that's open 365 days a year. The former mayor of the North Pole officially changed his name to Santa Claus and grew his hair out, white hair, fat dude, this, that, and the other. And it's a real town. It's a real town. And there is a post office, the North Pole. And so I went into Santa's house as a goof. I was up hugging in Alaska and I just went there as a goof. And you go inside and everyone's dressed as elves and everybody talks like this. Oh my God, where'd you come from? And just on the way to meet Santa, I met two girls and a mom from Singapore, someone else from Germany, and someone else from Tokyo. And they're selling trinkets and stuff. And I'm just like, wow. And the people are like, where'd you come from? I said, I came from Philadelphia. Why? And I said, I came here to hug people. When a bunch of people are talking to you like this, dressed as elves, talking in upspeak, you kind of get caught up in it after a while. And so after talking to an elf for a while, they said, well, let's go see Santa. And I said, okay. And by the time they took my hand and guided me down this red carpet, with each step, I was getting younger and younger. So by the time that I saw Santa, I was like 7. And I was like, hey, Santa. He asked, well, where'd you come from? And I said, I came from Philadelphia. And I came up here to hug people. And I started to tell my story. This is where I get choked up. Because he said, stop talking. He said, I know your deal. And he said, I want you to turn around. And I said, why? He said, just turn around. All of a sudden, the kids from Singapore are hugging the elves and whatever. The people that I had met are just, everyone is hugging. And he said, those people here came here to see me. But they're hugging because of you. Dude, man, I was just like, hey, thanks, Santa. Thank you. And I know there's a dude out there that's wise that's calling me a bitch right now. That's fine. But I defy you to go to the fucking North Pole. Meet Santa. You'll be crying like a bitch too. You know what I'm saying? That's it. And this motherfucker had me crying. And I was like, holy shit. And then what was funny is that afterwards, because, there's always something that breaks the tension. He said, all right, come on. Sit on my lap.
You got to sit on Santa's lap.
I
mean, you are probably bigger than Santa.
I said, yo, Santa, I'm a big
motherfucker.
And he rubbed his thigh and he said, yeah, I can take it. And I was like, all right. And so I said, I have a picture of me sitting on Santa's lap. And it was funny. And, when you go through life, just have some fun with it. I think so many people look at life and their experiences. It's supposed to be a set way, a set thing. Like there's a set path, and and just have some fun with the circumstances that are ahead of you or that are before you, and take full advantage of it. No one has ever said, hey, I'm going to grow up to hug the world. But the circumstances in my life have presented it that way. And the stars have aligned where I'm taking full advantage of that. And by going out and hugging the world, by going out and honoring my friend, by going out and honoring life and connecting with others, I am now an award-winning author. I'm now an award-winning filmmaker. I made a documentary, written a section of a children's book. There's a kid that's looked in my section of a children's book and says, I want to grow up and hug the world too.
No, but Dave, you have led an epic life because of that mission. You have led a full life. You have lived a life worth living.
But I want to say to the audience out there, and look, I'm not alone in this. I'm not alone. You are capable of this. Look, I'm no great shakes. I'm no great shakes. I'm poor. No one's paying me to wear this logo. There's no product. There's no whatever. I'm just a regular fucking dude, but I'm out there, traveling the world on the strength of a hug. And if I can do it, then think about what you can do. Think about the talents that you have.
But I got to go back up to you because I remember one of the ways you fundamentally changed my life, and this sticks with me to this day, is that I was in my late 20s and insecure, not confident in who I was. And I would hang out with you, and whether we were in a coffee shop, you would talk to every person you came in contact with, whether it's the person cleaning the floor or whether it was the barista. You would say, hi, I'm Dave. You would have like an actual personal interaction. And I remember at the time thinking, well, those people don't want me to say hello to them. Who am I? They don't want to talk to me. And you made me realize that we are all hungry for connection with another soul. To this day, whether it's the Uber driver or the janitor, like I always make an effort, especially if someone's in the bathroom, cleaning the bathroom. I am grateful that they are doing that service for me. And I make the effort to look them in the eye and say, thank you. And I learned that from you, and that has fundamentally changed my life because I realized the value of acknowledging another soul.
Well, thank you. I always tell the people, there's people around City Hall, Philadelphia that clean, and I always say thank you for what you do. And one dude, I remember one time, he was just in a bad mood. And he said, what'd you say? I said, man, just thank you for what you do. It's not easy what you do. And I said, but I see you every day. And now, he either gives me a high five or he hugs me. And then a lot of times I talk to Uber drivers. I can't tell you how many Uber drivers.
Oh, they're the best stories ever. Oh, you actually get out of the car and hug them.
Oh, yeah. Listen, there's a story. My friend that committed suicide, I had to go to his memorial service. I caught a red eye, which meant I took an Uber to the airport like 3-something in the morning. Yeah. Guy said, hey, where you going? I tell him where I'm going. Is he going to a memorial service, this, that, and the other? Mm-hmm. And he's like, man, I wish you the best, man. I wish you, it's rough. He talked about, he had a friend that committed suicide, gets out of the car, gives me a hug. I am in Arizona for a week. I come back and I'm just emotionally spent. I pretty much collapsed in the back of the Uber. The voice says, so how was the funeral? And I said,
you had the same driver?
What? And I look up, it's the same fucking driver. And then he and I went and grabbed coffee and we talked.
Wow. What a beautiful God moment.
People do want connections. People do want to connect. People do want to learn from each other. People can learn from each other. And I think what is happening now, because of social media, because of algorithms, people are focusing on the differences between us more so than anything that will connect us in the commonalities of us. I mean, and that's what's messed up. And as soon as somebody gets something, it's like, oh, fuck, they got this. Why don't I have that? And I was like, hey, dude, man, look at what do you have in common with that person?
Right. Well, you just hit the thing that I wish every soul on the planet knew. And that is one person's suffering is our suffering. One person's joy is our joy, and that we're all one. And this whole thing of scarcity and separation, and it creates just such unrest in another person's soul.
Right.
And it's toxic. That's the sad part of social media.
It is, inside the person that you meet potentially lies a key to a problem that you have,
Yes.
and an experience that you have. Like I told you, the guy that talked about he was sexually abused when he was younger. How that happened was I was on the phone with a friend talking about someone that's going through stuff. My friend that I was talking to on the phone was like, well, what do you think is wrong with them? And I said, well, I think this, this, and this. We talked for a little bit. I hung up the phone. About 10 minutes later, the guy that's sitting next to me in the Starbucks, it says, hey, man, I couldn't help but listen to your conversation. You have a loud voice. And
I imagine that happens a lot.
Right. And so he was like, what's your friend's story? And I was like, all right, I'll talk to you for a minute. And so this guy opens up about his experience. And he's the person that said, yeah, man, that pain doesn't go away. And he said, you can't help your friend until he wants help. He said, but you can pray for him. And he said, so if you don't mind, take my hand. And I took his hand and we prayed. And this stranger has now texted me maybe every 2 or 3 days just to check on me and to check on my friend. And so there's goodness out there. We have to be open to it, And a lot of times goodness doesn't come to your door, much like toxicity. It doesn't come to your door, in the shape of goodness. It just comes to your door, and you have to just be able to discern it and stuff like that. And if something is toxic, then you just kind of ignore it. Just turn over that phone. And if it's good, then you just give it energy and you talk to it and you nurture it.
Well, you have hugged a lot of people, and that has got to have been some people that were in a lot of pain, some people who were truly in really rough places in their lives. Like, I'm sure there's been smelly people, and there's been
let me tell you something. The smelly people, the enemies in my life are the smelly people, the bad breath people, and the bad storytellers. So the smelly people, somehow their armpits are always super juicy. And when they hug, they kind of somehow always get their armpits on your arms. It's fucking gross. But that's why when I go on trips, a lot of times I will take 5 of the same shirt. So that when I meet these people, I don't want them to feel bad. I'll just excuse myself. I'll go to the bathroom. I have some wipes and I wipe down, take that shirt off, put it in my bag, put on the same shirt. That's it. So, no one knows. These are little hug tricks. There's the bad breath people, and, they always want to talk. And then the people that tell bad stories are often, they have bad breath and they get in your face and they want to talk like this all the time and tell you every detail. And then I exhaled and then I exhaled and then and the story goes nowhere. And you're just sitting there like, God damn, is this going to end? And it's whatever. But this person
you're
needs
holding space and love for
this.
They need to let it out.
Right. You hold space. This person needs to tell this story and you just listen. And if you can somehow subtly steer them towards some mints or something that, some water or something that will just,
help out a little
yes.
bit.
And I always carry mints when I'm on the road. And the easiest way is to just sit there. You're talking to somebody. You take a mint first. So it's not like you're not saying, oh, here, take this shit. You know what I'm saying? I take a mint first, and
you've mastered the subtle art.
Yeah. Then you give it to them. Oh, you want one? Yeah, take one. And if they say no, then I always say, my mom always said, if somebody offers you a mint in life, just take it because you never know. So these are all subtle things that are out there.
I'm looking at your travel thing. It says that you were in the heart of the United States.
I was in the geographic center of the United States. The geographic heart, there are 2 hearts.
I didn't know this. Tell me about the 2 hearts in the United States.
There is the center of the continental U.S. in Lebanon, Kansas, and there's also the center of the United States given Alaska and Hawaii, which is in Belfouche, South Dakota. And so I threw a Valentine's Day hug party at the heart of the country in Lebanon, Kansas. It was cute. It was kitschy. I think out of 190 something people, I hugged 104. So, which qualifies me for nothing, but it was just, it's something that I did. And what's interesting, and this is the thing about social media, is that, as soon as you say one thing, there's always somebody that wants to debunk whatever you're saying. And so as soon as I said I hug people at the center of the United States, Of course, somebody comment, technically the center of the United States is Belfast, South Dakota, given Alaska and Hawaii. And so there's two ways you can fight this, right? I could have either gotten into, a battle of comments with this person, or the next year I threw a hug party on Valentine's Day in Belfast, South Dakota, just to have it covered.
Did that person join you?
No, it's just, they just sat by, internet warriors, sitting there. It's interesting you should bring that up, because what I'm planning next year, drum roll please,
dun, 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 dun.
The Embrace the Nation tour for 2026, for the 25th anniversary of September 11th, a hug delivery tour. Can you believe it's been 25 years?
That's hard to believe. Oh my gosh.
Right. We were all so young. But, for the 25th anniversary of September 11th, I'm going to do a hug delivery tour where I go throughout the continental U.S., maybe all 50, doing hug deliveries and trying to find some 9/11 families to offer them hugs and stuff like that. The world needs a good story right now, something that can't be dismantled by politics or bullshit or gender or race or whatever. The world just needs a good story. We've all become so cynical, so distant and so cynical, that I'm doing this tour to just give the nation, the world, something to smile about and something to see the humanity within us. I'm excited about that.
Dave, I remember you telling me a story about a father of someone who had lost their child in 9/11 that came across your book and was not able to heal until they read your story, like they were holding on.
It's tough. It's tough to conceptualize, my parent, spouse, family member goes into a high-rise building and someone flies a plane into it. It still doesn't make sense. And how do you move forward through that? When I've had a lot of people who have said that they have found my story helpful in moving forward and going out and connecting with other people, and they remain in contact with me, and they said it has helped them heal. And they aren't strong enough to go out and do it themselves, but they love hearing about what I'm doing, and always send me an encouraging message or text.
Actually, that's one of my favorite things about you. Dave, you put your phone number in all your books.
Yeah, my phone number is at 267-252-1974. It's out there. And
if you ever need a hug or a high five, right, or someone to listen, you're
right. That's it. People always say, "Oh my God, your phone must ring off the fucking hook," and it doesn't. It doesn't. It really doesn't. What happens more often than not is people will call me. Is this really Dave Sylvester? Yeah, it is.
Because they don't believe you actually put it in the book.
For real? I'm like, yeah, man, the hug guy. Yeah. Wow, this is crazy. Click. And then they hang up.
They just wanted to see if you were real.
Right. And one person said, it's good to know you're really out there, man. That you're good to know you're really out there.
Because Dave, we're hungry for authentic people.
Right.
With purpose.
I did a hug delivery tour a few years ago, again, after my friend committed suicide. I didn't know that he was dealing with depression. I didn't know shit about depression. I still don't know shit about depression. I wake up every day smiling. I wake up every day. It all works. Great. Let's go. Someone once described me as a two-legged puppy, and going to my friend's memorial service was like a crash course in depression for me. And not just from my friend's standpoint, but from his family standpoint. And so what I decided to do was to do a hug delivery tour. It was a 48-state drive where I posted my route on social media, and I said, if anybody wants a hug and you're within 30 miles of my route, I'll bring the hug to your door, to your business, to your wherever. I'll bring it to you. It was interesting because I met this woman in North Dakota. And we met in a cafe, and she just said, "You're real. You're real. Like, you're real." And she just kept grabbing my arm, and she said, "You're real." And she said, I don't need a hug now, but I just needed to know. I just needed to see you. And she told her story, which was kind of rough. And she said, I just needed to know that good people like you were out there. And, she was like, do you need breakfast? What do you need to go on? And I said, nothing. I just need a smile. People need to know, like you said, the authenticity. They need to know that this isn't shtick for likes or anything like that, that it's just As Santa Claus would say, be good for goodness sake.
Well, Dave, it's your form of medicine. Like, I think your hugs and your smiles are your way of bringing healing to the planet.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
We all need genuine connection of people who don't want anything from us, who just want us to recognize the greatness that is within us, the possibility, the potential that we are enough. We're loved. Somebody cares about us.
Right. And listen, to anybody that's out there, support the arts, those energy people, support them, and support comes in a lot of ways. Everybody's like, oh shit, I ain't got no money. But, call them, say thank you, let them know, tell them your story. Hey, listen, you made a difference in my life. Take them out for coffee. Let them know, because a lot of times it's thankless. Sometimes it's a struggle to put together these trips and stuff like that. And on some of these trips, I've had to sleep in the rental car. It's not something that I was going to show because I don't want to dissuade anybody from anything, but it's tough out there. So when you do have somebody that says thank you, to when somebody says, hey, listen, your story helped me move forward. Somebody sent me a text that said my article, that I wrote an article for ESPN, said your article helped me stay clean for a day. Mm-hmm. And, they wrote about, their struggles with addiction. I didn't write shit about addiction. I never used drugs or any kind of bullshit like that. But there was something within my story that helped him stay clean for a day. And I mean, what a compliment. And that helped me stand up straighter. That helped me write a little bit more. That helped me work a little bit harder at what I'm doing and stay on path a little bit more. So thank the people, your muses in life. Tell them, hey, listen, your voice makes all the difference in the world to me. None of us are rock stars or whatever,
Or we're all rock stars.
We're all rock stars, right. And that's it. And I use the word artist very, very broadly. But if somebody has a smile for you every day, has a nice comment for you every day, then thank them for that, because they need energy too. They need some, it's a call and response in life.
Dave, that's so beautifully said. It feels like you live kind of in a state of gratitude. I think I remember once, there's a line that I use, another line that I learned from you, and that was, if you have your health, that's your first million.
Oh yeah. Yeah, without question.
You learn to find gratitude in just being able to wake up breathing and
right.
feeling and moving your body.
Right. If you ever woke up with back pain, fuck, man. If you've ever had pain, physical pain, and then all of a sudden you've healed from it, think about how great you feel. So don't take this for granted. Take care of your body. Don't pollute it with a lot of sugar, and just treat your body right. And all of a sudden you'll be surprised at what you attract, because if you start eating a lot of garbage, you are going to be hanging around a lot of people that also eat garbage. You're going to have their toxicity and their attitude and shit like that. I mean, you ever meet anybody really happy at McDonald's? Nah, those motherfuckers are grumbly as shit. Is anybody really happy at McDonald's? Nah, you just go there because, you just got to go there. You got to eat something, but it's some bullshit. It's bullshit you're putting in your body. So put something natural in your body, put something good in your body, treat your body right. It's the only one you got. It's the only
Nutrition 101 for
I'm just
Sylvester.
saying, man. I mean, that's it. I mean, I'm not, look, now someone's going to catch me at a Wawa eating a hoagie, and it's like, got you, motherfucker. And I'm just going to, all right. But every now and then, it's not so bad. But I mean, to eat that shit every fucking day? Nah.
Take more time and effort if you can, and try to take care of yourself. And
drink water. God damn, drink water. How about that? I know so many people that do not drink water.
Cut out the sodas, man.
Yeah, soda's not good for you. And
those energy drinks that everyone thinks they're helping.
Yeah, it's not good. And the older you get, I think the more aware of your body, its functioning, its proper functioning, you become aware of, and that's when you get that wisdom. That's when it all starts to kick in, and
you're aging
you get
backwards.
that perspective.
How young are you?
I'm old.
No, you're aging backwards on us, my friend.
I'm old, man. Welcome to 60. How you doing? That's it.
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm fucking old as shit. Old as shit, man. That's it.
You still look vibrant, my friend.
God, it's it. I will pay you handsomely, my friend. No, I'm old. But I am blessed. There's so many people that I have met, just beyond the million people that I've hugged. I mean, just the people like you and so many other people that just good. I mean, you said I live a life of gratitude. How could I not? How could I not live a life of gratitude? Seeing beautiful people like you, just meeting so many good people that have helped me move forward. How could I not be happy? I'm known for hugging people around the world. How good is that? And for, people, oh, fuck, can't do shit because I'm black, because I'm this, because I'm that. What the fuck, man? I'm living proof, man. Shit can happen. And that's, how beautiful is that? It's not easy, living your dream. I think a lot of times people think, oh, living a dream is just easy. Whoever it is that you look up to, they got to work at that shit. How many singing lessons have you fucking taken? How many different crazy singing instructors? Sing underwater, sing on top of a mountain, do this, whatever, all the dumb shit. You had to learn how to not even call it a voice. You call it your instrument. You had to learn how to respect your instrument. It's not easy. That shit's work. Your parents have a dairy farm, and that's fucking work. Every
7 days
day,
a week.
7 days a week. It was cold as shit. I was in Oklahoma. I went there to deliver a hug. It was cold as fucking shit. And
Cows still got to be milked.
Cows still got to be milked. And she was like, "Oh, come outside." And I said, my lips froze up like this and whatever. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing? What?
You're a city kid. You need to be inside.
I ain't drinking no milk. Fuck that. But I mean, that's somebody's livelihood. That's somebody's dream. It takes work.
Yeah.
Everything takes work.
Takes time and effort. Yeah.
Without question. And you have to cultivate it. You have to respect it. You have to
keep going. Because, you didn't become a writer overnight. I mean, how many drafts did you have on that first book?
Oh, no, man. I look at my first book, Traveling at the Speed of Life, and I'm just like, oh, this is horrible. But it's horrible because I write so much better now. I can tell a tighter story now. But it is beautiful in the respect that it was a big step in the journey.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure you look at some of your old recordings and stuff, and you're like, oh.
You've come a long ways. I mean, you've been doing it for 15, 20, 25 years, and all of a sudden you're just like, huh.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it's just like, how many screw-ups did you have to go through in order to get it to this polished?
That's the Thomas Edison. How many times did the light bulb fail before you got there?
Right.
And you didn't fail. You just found a way it didn't work.
Right. And that's it. And so...
And that's an attitude. That's a total different mindset.
And so, hang around people. I keep looking at the camera and saying, hey, listen, there's another piece of advice. But hang around positive people. Right? Hang around people that are
inspire
nurturing.
You.
Yes. Because let me tell you something. Motherfuckers that grumble are going to be grumbling tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. So hang around somebody that's going to nurture you. So hang around somebody that values tomorrow. A lot of times people don't value tomorrow, man. They're just looking at today and that's it. And trying to get something. Oh, if I just had some money or a thing, the hottest phone, trinket, whatever. Happiness isn't here, man. Happiness isn't here. It's in your ability to move. It's in your ability to smile. You have an opportunity. I mean, every day you wake up, you have an opportunity. There's potential. Right now, how many people drew their last breath? How many people drew their last breath? How many people would say, I would give anything to be a poor hugger in a Texas shirt? I would do anything to have your life, your existence, your opportunity to tell my friends and family I love you, to do a good deed. I mean, life is fucking precious. I mean, everyone always says, oh my God, looking at the world through a child's eyes. No, fuck that. Kids are stupid. They look at, jangly keys and shit like that. Look at life through the eyes of a senior citizen that isn't going to be here. They aren't sure about today, let alone tomorrow. And think about how they look at life and how precious they cherish the moments. When you see your grandparent or your great-grandparent, if you're fortunate enough to have them in your life, how they look at you. They just look at all of you and they just say, man, it's so good to see you. It's so good to look at you. Look at you growing up so strong. Look at you sitting up straight. Look at you. Look at all this hair. They look at things that you take for granted. They look at things that you look past. And they're like, look at this. This is so special. Look, oh my God, you made it all the way here? You know, I remember when I was biking across the United States, I stopped at a hospice. And I remember this woman, she was so excited. She said, I can't believe you biked all the way across the United States just to see me. And she was so fascinated by every little thing I did. And I was like, lady, I didn't do shit. You know, it was just on my way. Looking at it from her perspective, it was a big deal. She's in a hospice. Yeah. She doesn't have much time left. And how precious life was, you know? And so think about that. You know, one of these days you're going to draw your last breath. Think about, did I spend my time bitching? Did I spend my time with fucked up people? Did I spend my time drinking, drugging? You know, like spend your time doing something that matters, doing something that creates something. Work on your legacy. What people are going to say about you at your funeral, you're working on that today. You know, there's a saying, you write your own obituary. You write it. You write it. Not anybody else. People are just, you know, jotting down what you did. But I mean, you know, in your own timeline of stuff, what are people going to be saying? And so think about life that way. And I think if you do, you know, you will treat it with more respect. You'll treat others with more respect. You don't have to love everybody. I mean, you don't have to like everything that everybody does. There's a lot of shit I dislike, you know, but I'm old school. I just hate from across the porch, you know, but I ain't gonna go out of my way to stop you, you know, because that's taking me off my path. Shit, there's a lot of motherfuckers I've hugged I don't even fucking like. I'm like, fuck, I don't vote the way they do. I don't like the way, but fuck it, they need a hug. They need a hug. And we have a conversation about some other shit. And that's it. And then I just walk away and it's just like, okay, I hope my hug, our moment made them better.
Did you realize you were going to be the wise elder in the room and giving out sage advice?
I never thought that shit. It is interesting where life takes us, man. It really, really is. And it's so special, man. It's so special. And I am so thankful for the people that are here. I'm so thankful for the people that are going before me. You know, I miss my friend Kevin. I miss my father. I miss my friend Scott. I miss my other friend Greg. I miss so many people in my life have died, and I miss them. And the thing they always loved about me, all of these people loved, is, you know, my smile and my ability to laugh. And so I will carry on that.
If people want to reach out and they want some more Dave wisdom, they want to follow you, they want to get a hug, a high five, besides your phone number.
Okay.
Where do we? So
I am the Human High Five on Instagram. My number is 267-252-1974. I'm David Hale Sylvester. It's my website. And you know, if you find yourself down, if you find yourself doubting, if you find yourself needing some hope, needing a smile, just reach out to me, you know, or look at my socials. I'll never bore you with pictures of food or coffee. It'll just be pictures of smiling faces of people that I've met around the planet and short stories and stuff like that. Get my book, One Hug at a Time. And if you just need someone to talk to, I don't know what I can do. Probably nothing. But I will listen, and chances are, after hugging a million people, talking to so many people, hearing so many different things, that whatever your circumstances are, it's not going to be something that I haven't heard before. One time I met, again, the only people, if you don't like cursing, don't call me. But no, motherfucker, you know, he stood before me, and he got like right there, and he stopped, and he said, you know, I want a hug, but you're probably not going to like me. I killed my best friend over a drug deal. I did 18 years, this, that, and the other. And he just stood there, and he's just looking down. I thought about the first thing that he said, I want a hug. I want a hug. And I just said, well, I guess it was a good idea at the time. And he started laughing. And he said, you know, no one in 18 years has made me laugh about this. I said, all right, well, would you do this shit again? And he was like, no. Which opened up the conversation for all the things that he had done to redeem himself and whatever. He put his life back on track. His friend's family had just started accepting his letters and this, that, and other. And we hugged and we had a great conversation about his life. But also, I mean, that toggles into the thing about the book. It's that a lot of guys are out there thinking they're not worthy of a hug, not worthy of love, not worthy of connecting. And that's stopping them. That this imaginary, roadblock is stopping them from moving forward. And just talking about it a lot of times can make you feel better and not feel that degree of shame and that degree of guilt. And then you can move forward with other things. You can get new problems.
Let's heal from the old ones.
Right. And that's where, I mean, these trips, these hugs it's all been very, very therapeutic for me, because it's not just a hug and I leave. A lot of times it's a conversation. It's a conversation about where they are. And then, in order to continue that conversation, I'll talk about where I am, what I've dealt with, and that conversation is therapy, and it's not just people crying. I cry, I cry all the fucking time about that stuff, about people that I've missed, about things that I have fucked up in, about things that I wish I did this better and stuff like that, and just get it out. And then all of a sudden, when there's no shame in the game, you're just flying free. If you are a young man, an old man that's out there, and you want a dude to talk to, just talk to me. I am a life coach, so we can, talk about that. Life is too short to keep shit bottled in. And a lot of times, I mean, it ain't that big of a damn deal. You are making it a big deal. Yeah. It's not that big of a deal.
Someone once said to me, the most dangerous 4 inches on the planet is what's between here and your
right.
ear. It's what's going on in your head.
Oh,
you
man,
are
you
creating
overthink some shit, man. And a lot of times the things that happen to you, it's not your fault. I've met a lot of men that have been sexually abused. It's not your fault. I had the doctor touch me when I was a kid. It was just kind of like, it's a funny fucking story. So I gotta tell you, because the audience is like, wait, how's this motherfucker going to make sexual assault funny? But wait for it. So anyway,
as only Dave Sylvester can.
It was my birthday. I had turned 30, and I remember my friends had taken me out, and they were calling me old man, this, that, and the other, whatever. And so one of my older friends, he was like, yeah, man, he said, it's going to be soon. You're going to have to get your prostate checked. And I said, I've had my prostate checked 1,000,000 times by my doctor when I was a kid, this, that, and the other. And I said, oh fuck. My doctor took advantage of me and shit. And everybody, including the bartender, was like, what? And I said, yeah, man, this motherfucker, the doctor always claimed, I had to check your prostate. So he would stick his finger in my ass when I was a fucking kid and shit like that. And I was like, get the fuck.
That's not normal.
Right. And I started laughing about it, and everybody started laughing about it. And the bartender slid a drink across the bar, and he was like, dude, that's the funniest fucking story about assault I've ever fucking heard. I was like, all right, I hope it was good for him. But it was just like, shit. So look, hey, it happened to me. All right, we can talk about it.
You're trying to create a safe place, or the idea that the things that men are uncomfortable about, they got to let it go. And they got to, if they're holding it on and it's affecting their life and not allowing them to become the best version of themselves because they've got issues around it, you're like, dude, stop.
That's it. Stop. That's it.
Let's make a change. Let's figure out what you need to do.
Let's move forward. Right. And that's it. And that's, like I said, it's this, guilt and shame is like this invisible bag that you're lugging around. Let it go.
I think, Dave, you just said it. Guilt and shame, 2 of the most toxic things on the planet. And then add fear into that. Guilt, shame, and fear.
Right.
And that's the trifecta that will basically prevent you from living the best life that you could.
Yeah.
I mean, that's holding you back. You've given a lot of great wisdom on the podcast. If you could have a microphone and you could speak to every soul, and you've given us a lot of wisdom already, what is coming up for you right now? What would you like every soul on the planet to know?
Go and hug 5 people. All right. And within the next 3 to 5 days, hug 5 people and hold on to them until they are ready to let go. That is what I will say. Just hold them. And then see what happens. Nothing may happen that first day or that moment or whatever, but I guarantee something will happen within a week or so where your relationship with those 5 people will hit a new level, a better level, a more open and expansive and communicative level. And if you feel like it, call me and talk about it. Let's talk about it.
That's really freaking beautiful, powerful wisdom.
That's it. And can I come back?
Of course.
That would be great.
I think you're going to have to get your own podcast now.
That's it. No,
traveling at the speed of life, hugging. How about you get together with, a group of guys that come in and you'll have a little guy circle and
that's not a bad idea.
I could see that.
I'm looking at the whole setup of everything, but that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Look at that. Great ideas.
Men need to be
great
able to
ideas
have
that I wouldn't have happened unless I was talking to somebody. Right? So it's all about connecting. It's all about connecting. So thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Oh, I love it.
Thank you.
Everybody, David Hale Sylvester.
That's me.
And he's got a phone number. So if you need some support, reach out.
This
man is the life coach guru. He's got wisdom for everything, for your background as bodybuilder, personal trainer, to
it's just an all around regular dude. That's it. That's me. You mean a regular dude in your life? That's me. That's
awesome.
Me.
Okay, till next time, my friend.
Thank you.
Are you ready for your Energy for Life bioenergetic nest scan? Dr. Larissa Sharapova and myself, Priscilla Koblenz, offer personal, private, 90-minute consults to get you back to optimal health and well-being. For more details, visit the show notes or check out harmonicalignment.co. We hope you enjoyed today's episode of Harmonic Alignment. If something resonated with you, we would love to hear about it. Please consider leaving us a 5-star review and subscribing so you don't miss an upcoming episode. Thank you. The information contained in this podcast is provided for informational purposes only and not intended for the purpose of diagnosing, treating, curing, or preventing any disease. Before using any products referenced on the podcast, consult with your healthcare provider. Carefully read all labels and directions. The products and information received through the podcast should not be used to replace a consultation or advice from your healthcare provider. If you suspect you have a medical problem or have any healthcare questions, please promptly call your healthcare provider. This podcast, including Dr. Larissa Sharapova and Priscilla Koblenz and the producers, are not responsible for any possible adverse effects from the use of information contained in this podcast. This podcast may contain endorsements and advertisements for products or services. Individuals on this podcast may have a direct financial benefit to the product or services referenced.